All right, we're going to finish the last page of the S2B cosine rule handout. Okay, a hiker leaves camp and walks 5 kilometers at a bearing of 58 degrees. Okay, so we start off, when you're doing with bearings, north is always 0 degrees. So if we go 58 degrees, I'm going to go kind of like this way, 58 degrees. And and that's the direction we're going. So after you go 58 degrees, this is the direction I'm going. So from north, we turn 58 degrees, and this is the way we go, and we're walking 5 kilometers. Okay? And then we stop and take a break. And then we continue walking another 8 kilometers at a bearing of 103 degrees. So here's north again. And if we're going 103 degrees, we're going from here, we're twirling 103. If it was 90, it would just go straight to the west. But 103, we're going like a little bit southwest. So we're going southwest, and we're going 8 kilometers. Okay, and at a bearing of 103, and then we head straight back to where we started. So then we're going to go back to where we started. And there's our triangle. Okay, find the distance back to the camp from the second stop. So we need this distance. So the first thing I need to do, because we need to figure out angles, right? So I need to figure out this angle right in here. So what I usually do with this type of question, I could draw a dotted line here. And what you can notice is that, look, this angle here and this angle here, if the north lines, if these are parallel lines, then these orange ones are going to be alternate interior angles. So if that's 58, this is going to be 58, right? Because they're alternate interior angles between two parallel lines. And then I could hide this part here and say, look, this part right here and this part right here form a linear pair. So if that's 103, 180 minus 103, this is going to have to be 77 degrees. So now we need this whole, we can find this whole angle. I'm just going to redraw my triangle just for simplicity of understanding what's going on. Now we know this is 5, we know this is 8, and we know this is 58 plus 77. Add those together, and you're going to get 135. Okay, so now we can find this distance here. So if I'm using our law of sine formula to find the distance, we're going to use this here. So we've got the distance of c squared is going to be equal to a squared and plus b squared minus 2ab cosine c. So we're going to be using this to do our calculation. So C is the side opposite of the angle that we have, and here the side opposite of the angle here is what we've got, and that's our angle. And when you look here, our pink and our blue sides are the ones on either side of the angle that we've got. So if using that knowledge, 5 and 8 are on either side of the angle that we've got. So using this, you might want to hit pause when you need to. We're using the same knowledge here. So the pink and the blue are on either side of angle C, and 2AB cosine C. So we're going to have same relationship. So I'm going to say x squared equals 8 squared plus 5 squared minus 2 8, and then cosine, the angle is 135. Okay, so we've got our sides on either side of the angle, and this is what we're trying to figure out. Okay, and so now it's just solve for the angle. So we've got 64 plus 25 minus 2 times 5 is 10, and 10 times 8 is 80. And then cosine of 135 is negative 0.707106, something like that. Okay, so 64 plus 25, and then remember we've got minus 80 times a negative number, so we're going to turn into a plus when we got minus a negative number. So we've got 64 plus 25, and then 80 times that is going to give me 56.5685. We don't round it to 3 sig figs until the very end. Add these all up together, and we get x squared equals 145.568. Okay, and now to solve for x, we're going to do the square root of that. And then we get x equals 12.1 kilometers. All right, let's do the next one. Hit pause if you need to copy this. All right, next one. Okay, to find the third side of a triangle with AB being 40, BC being 25, and angle A being 35, we got the following suggestions. Okay, let's just draw the triangle before we talk about the suggestions. I'm just going to draw a triangle. A, B, C. Okay. AB is 40. BC is 25. And angle A is 35. And we want to find the third side, so we'll call this, I'm going to call it lowercase b, because it's across from the b. Okay, Christian says, let's use the cosine rule. You are given two sides and one angle. Okay, well, let's think about that for a second. Cosine rule, if we're trying to find a side, we don't know the side opposite of, we actually do know the side opposite of the angle. It's one of let's color this the right way. We actually do know the side opposite of the angle. So let's just color this one blue and color this one red. So in the examples here, we were solving for C, and it was the side opposite of the angle that we knew. But let's just write it out anyways like this. So if I'm writing it out in this sort of way, so if I'm using cosine rule, it would be C squared, which is 25 squared, equals 40 squared plus b squared minus 2 times 40 times b cosine c. Oh, that's 35. Cosine 35. Now, if I'm solving for b, this is going to be really ugly looking. So I'm going to say this looks complicated. So I'm just going to say that here. Using cosine rule looks tough. So let's look at another way to do this. So another way I could do this is I could find angle C, and so if I'm finding angle C, we could write up our ratios. Okay, we can write 25 over 30 sine 35 using sine rule equals 40 over angle C. Okay, then I can cross multiply, and I've got 25 times sine C equals 40 times sine 35. And then the next step is I divide by 25 on both sides. And the 40 sine 35 divided by 25, I get this decimal. And then I hit second sine and this decimal, and then I get 66.59. So now I've just calculated this angle here. And we already knew this angle here. So next step is I need to figure out the other angle. That's a whole lot easier because I could just add these two together and subtract from 180, and then I know this is going to be 78.4. So now to figure out side B, I can use the law of sine again. So I could say B over sine 78.4 is equal to 25 over sine 35, right? Then just like in the first step, I can cross multiply. B times sine 35 equals 25 times sine 78.4, and divide both sides by sine 35, and then you get B is 42.7. I hope this helps.